guys, the John McNamara host, Ron in Vegas. We're talking local sports, business, real estate. Guys, like we see, like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Run in Vegas podcast. And today we got a special guest, Mr. Luke Cuningham, the myth, the legend, in the house.
Yep, I'm here for the holiday edition, the last edition of the year.
Yeah, bringing the holiday spirit with his Knights jersey.
With my Knights jersey, there's a game today.
Yeah.
We're going to have some fun, go watch the game. John's actually going to the game, so that'll be good for him.
Go
I'm
Knights.
Go watch it at my girlfriend's house. So
nice. And I'll be at the bar.
Hey,
watching the
sounds
game.
Good. That's amazing.
So let's talk about you, man. How'd you get to Vegas? Your story, your background?
So my background is in logistics, and I moved to Vegas in 2008 from Orange County, California, Newport Beach. A big move. I moved here with work. It was a coaching company, actually, real estate coaching company that I worked for. And they relocated from Irvine to Las Vegas in the Southwest here. So it was a big move. I love Vegas. And my mom lived here for a while, so I knew of Vegas. I knew the surrounding community. It wasn't big in 2008. People were moving out of here when I moved in, and the housing market was going down.
Yeah.
And it was hard to do anything here, but it is a great location because you have the surrounding Utah, Arizona, and back to California within 3 to 4 hours to 6 hours. You can be in Phoenix in 6 hours. You can be in Orange County in depends how you drive, but 3.5.
Yeah.
And Utah in less than 2 hours. So with my background of snowboarding and wakeboarding and boating and stuff like that, it was the perfect location for me at the time. I was 35, and it was just time to get out of Orange County. Orange County is a very special place that's very unique. Love it, love the beaches, but it was time for a change. Yeah.
Cool.
So here we are.
Here we are.
And you and I met around that same time, so
yeah.
It was good to have friends here.
Yeah, I'm grateful for you because when I moved here, I had no friends, and you were my first real friend. You're, full disclosure, one of my best friends on the pod today.
Filling in, helping out.
Which I appreciate. We went to go show a home. He's looking at buying another property here. And
yes, I am. In Henderson, near the Water Street community. I live a block from Water Street right now. I bought that home, 3 years ago. Love that home. I park and walk to the eateries and, go watch sports and stuff like that along the street if I'm not watching it at my house. But that community and what Henderson is doing, especially because I have a kid now, so it's different from Vegas for me. And I do a lot of boating activities at Lake Las Vegas and or Mead. So to me, it was a no-brainer to move to Henderson.
Yeah.
It just seems a lot better than Vegas. I got a good view of Vegas. We're up on the hills, so we can see the lights.
Well, you were on Water Street because I remember when you were buying your first one over there. I mean, you were talking about Water Street, how they're developing it.
Yeah.
And I love Water Street. If I was going to I'm not going to move to Henderson. But if I did, it would be very close to there because it's got a nice downtown area. It's really cool. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out.
Check out Water Street, 100%.
But you were on top of this 5 years ago telling me about it, and you ended up buying there, and you got a great buy. And it looks like you want to reinvest down there. Is there anything else going on? It seems like every time I'm down there, they're building something.
So right now, the Water Street community, all the properties are being bought up that had been vacant and stuff like that. New eateries all the time. The condos there, they just built condos across from the arena, and those are, I think, in question. I think the developer ran out of money. So that is one big black eye on the community right now. It's these condos that haven't been built, sitting there just brand new, and nobody, I don't think, has invested it yet.
Wow.
So we're waiting for that development to happen. And once that development happens, I can't see that street's just going to pop off. I mean, they built new housing on Water Street. They built a new hotel on Water Street that's part of the Pass Casino sponsor. No. But there's a lot going on. That was the first hotel built on Water Street. So now that the arena is, the Silver Knights practice there, and the Silver Knights and the kids play there, and it's open ice and stuff. So if you're looking for a hockey rink that isn't in it's kind of busy there, but I know they're building more. I think they might build a hockey rink in Southwest from what I've been reading.
Oh, really?
And
how many hockey arenas?
Well, that's the thing. Once you get a hockey
got him
team,
in Summerlin too.
once you get a hockey team, like when I was in Anaheim when the Ducks were brought in, and it was weird to see the shift from like soccer and football and like baseball to see these kids now. I would go to open ices and skate, for fun, and these kids were out there just playing with their sticks, and like they were. I mean, the skating part of it is amazing. The way these kids skate nowadays. You can go over to the Silver Knights and watch them play. You could just walk in and there's a restaurant bar where you can sit up and watch down. And these kids are amazing. Like sometimes I prefer watching them over the pros.
Oh, I know. Well, you and I have gone over there a couple times.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're flying around.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. I kind of wish I played hockey when I was younger. I grew up in, as you know, in upstate New York, and we had rinks everywhere.
And you went to university that was really big
Quinnipiac, so they're big in hockey as well.
Yeah.
It's a fun sport. I was really into when I was younger. I kind of got away from it from moving out here.
Yeah.
And then they brought the Knights back, so I'm kind of back into it. I kind of watch Knights when they get in the playoffs, to be completely. I'm not as enthusiastic as you. Wearing Knights gear.
Look, this is part of just because I'm supporting friends, but I've been to hockey games. I've been to hockey playoff games. I've seen it. I do not understand the 20-minute intermissions because like when these guys are interviewed in between periods, they're pretty much like fully clothed or they're out of their gear. I understand it's a grueling game. I get it. When you're ice skating for that long and banging your bodies up, you need a 20-minute break, but it just makes sitting there kind of unbearable to me. I mean, a halftime of a football game is even as long sometimes. But,
I agree with you. Yeah,
but that's my only complaint about hockey. Other than that, hockey's a great sport.
That's cool.
And I love that the Vegas community has surrounded themselves with it, and they're doing stuff for the youth and the kids in the community, and it's strong. I mean, right now we went and looked at a house, and there was 4 or 5 huge buses from Seattle. I think I read one from. Last night there was one from like Oregon, and they're parked all around Water Street. Just the kids. I mean, these are junior league hockey, and they're busing them down from. Oh yeah. It must be. You remember? I don't know how many bus rides you went on in football. I ran a college track, and I played a little bit of college football, and the bus rides were grueling. But I can imagine like when you're younger, it's probably better because the seats are more cushy for you.
Those buses look a lot nicer than the buses I remember.
Yeah, we had like school buses. These kids have like the buses pull up like. Psh,
yeah,
you're like,
I'm like, what?
Any bus that makes that sound,
it's like a transformer bus.
Okay. There's a lot of money in hockey.
Yeah, hockey's a cool sport. It's cool. It's the cool thing about Knights. It's really spawned a lot. The Raiders coming, everything, because I think it was the first moment of sports work here. Now we're gonna get an NBA team.
That was missing, and I think because I'm a fight fan and everything, the arenas for like the big, huge Allegiant Stadium, the T-Mobile. They were needed here because we have the rooms. Like Vegas obviously has tons of hotel rooms. They have public transportation that's great. It's just we didn't have big arenas. So we were about to lose, like in the past, I think we were going to lose Cowboy Christmas even. Yeah. Because they were looking for other arenas, bigger places to go. But, everybody from Texas, everybody from Oklahoma, Wyoming, and the surrounding areas in Nevada, that is a huge rodeo state. They said, hey, we like Vegas. We like going to Vegas. We like leaving Texas. Oh, yeah. We don't want to keep it in Texas because they're doing those rodeos all the time anyways. So that's a huge thing that we needed in this community. And now that we're, pursuing basketball teams and developing the Strip with arenas in mind and the baseball team that's coming in, that's stuff that's needed because now we host more concerts. We host more world events, like the World Cup, stuff like that. Something that makes this city international. Yeah. And that's what I liked about it. At first, when I moved here, it wasn't international. It was just like kind of local community, very small town to me, coming from Orange County. Orange County, we move around and see different things all the time. We had sports, we had LA. just a hop, skip, and jump away if you're not stuck in traffic. But here it was like, this made sense to me, just kind of like I think we kind of mirrored Phoenix. Like when you saw Phoenix having their sports teams and how big it grew their community with Tempe and like Tucson and everything else, it just made sense. And now that UNLV is stepping up and playing really well and won their bowl game last night.
Congrats, UNLV. LA Bowl.
LA Bowl, which awesome. And then my Trojans are playing next Friday, the 27th, against Texas A&M at Allegiant.
What?
The Las Vegas Bowl. So if you're a Trojan fan, please go support the team.
Fight on.
Yeah, fight on.
Yeah, you're right. So it's really interesting. Yeah, because when we first moved here, there wasn't that, and now there's going to be probably two. There's going to be the baseball stadium and another arena.
Yeah.
But I don't think a lot of people, because if you go to a Raider game, it's like 40, 60 away fans coming in. There's tons of away, and I think I saw it the other day. Like the most expensive ticket in the NFL right now is Raiders.
Oh yeah.
And they're one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
But you look on the schedule, what game are you, if you're in Green Bay and you're looking on the schedule, where you're going, you see Las Vegas is the away game, that's your one game you're going to.
Well, yeah.
So it's exciting for baseball when we have 82 games, and then we're going to have NBA another 40 games, and there's a ton of fans coming for hockey. That's just going to bring a ton of money to the community. It's pretty.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Pretty exciting.
I just read, did you read this, that the federal government made hotel resort fees illegal?
Oh, really?
So that might change the prices, and it might bring more people here.
Oh.
Because you get a hotel room and then you have to pay that extra $40 to $60 for, I don't know if this is the thing, you might want to look this up, but definitely, I was reading that in an article yesterday that the resort fees of hotels are starting to be federally illegal, because not everybody uses the pool, not everybody uses all the amenities of the hotel, so why should they be charged for it? So I think there should be an upcharge. Maybe the hotels will go for like, hey, you want to use their pool? Another $20. If you want to use our gym, another $10, you'll get a
That would make sense, but I guess my concern was I could see prices going up, because it's just we're not going to even
you think they would just be like, all right, we're just going to raise the price.
Obviously, like you and I are just going to figure out a way to get in the pool and not pay it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's just old school stuff. Living here, that's a good thing, is like, this about me. I'm a hot tub guy. Like this community, this town is a hot tub town to me, where it's not as hot as people think it is all the time here. It's a lot cold and dry. So it's just, having a pool is, with a house, whenever you're buying a house, think about a pool and think about the cost and that's one of my first mistakes when I did purchase my home in 2009.
Yeah.
I did buy one of the old school pools that were 12 feet deep, and a lot of water, a lot of maintenance, a lot of trees around, and we have a lot of wind. So
I loved that pool, though.
It was a great
I didn't
pool.
want you to sell that house.
It was a great
I was trying
pool.
to talk you out of it.
It was time.
It was. That's what he said to me. It's time, John. Sometimes it's just time. I was like, okay.
Well, that's the thing. You get
I'm
emotional.
a great realtor trying to talk you out
You get
of not
emotional
selling.
about properties. You do get emotional about properties and memories, but when you can't think like that when it comes to investments and stuff like that. You got to take emotions out of it when you're selling your home. That's one thing I learned through the coaching, watching the people and going through the experience with you. Great realtor, by the way. Hands down, takes care of everything. If you don't get emotional in the process, which everybody does, it's okay to be emotional. But business-wise, you're good to go. Like, if you just understand that's something that you're moving on to and moving out of, it's great.
Yeah. Well, you're really great at that, because you're savvy. You always get your next investment. That's one thing I really appreciate you. Like, you are always going to the next one, and you're easy to work with. Because I'll tell you, like, when like a friend or a family member, because it's gone sideways for me. I'm very cautious about doing business with friends and family, because I know if it goes bad, there's a good chance that relationship's ruined, and I'd rather have the friendship than the business. And you and I have done multiple deals. You're great to work with, so I appreciate it about you, because not everybody's that easy to work with. You're actually like one of my easiest clients. To be clear.
I think you have to. I do this. I study Stoicism, so like I have a Stoic approach. Most things that you understand what you can control and what you can't control, and keep emotion out of it. So I think I try to have that mindset. It's not perfect. You're never going to be perfect with mindset. You're always going to have creeping thoughts in, but when you can understand the outcome is better than, or it's going to be better eventually, then you just move forward, and you have to go through the process. And the process isn't easy all the time. Sometimes it's streamlined, sometimes it's not. But you go through those processes, and usually your outcome will be better as long as you keep moving, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Yeah. Going through the process, being open-minded, growth-minded. You know, sometimes it doesn't always go well, but if you, sometimes you win and sometimes you learn, you know?
You learn.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hopefully you
everything's a learning.
Hopefully you
a win is a learning, a loss is a learning.
Right.
So if you can't learn from it,
Yeah.
that's something you need to work on.
Well, let's go back in time a little bit.
Oh, let's go. Back in time.
So
time traveling.
You and I met, I think, like in 2009, give or take. So if you haven't been in Vegas that long, I would say less than 10 years. Give me your perspective of what we saw in 2009. Market's crashing. You and I are crazy. Moving to the city that's falling apart. Vegas will never come back.
Never come back.
It's falling apart. It's the worst
Everybody
city.
only knows the Strip. The Strip is awesome. Vegas itself as a community wasn't a thing. People didn't understand community here. I was very lucky. I volunteered for some charity work and stuff like that. So I created a community.
Yeah.
And I had you, and I had other friends here. I had friends that lived here for a while. So they understood, like, hey, you're going to come here. You're going to look at it. You're going to go through the first summer, and you're going to be like, I can live here. Like, if you don't have a gambling problem, a going out problem, and all that, because it's always open. 24/7, you can always find some trouble to get into, but if you're a calm person and just want a community, you have great communities here. You have everything in the Southwest that's expanding, everything in Henderson that's expanding, Green Valley, the north part, Centennial, all that is just amazing. So there are great communities, great parks here, great availability, but yeah, in 2009, it was not. Some of the properties I was being shown before I hired John were pretty bad. A lot of bank repos, a lot of people trashed homes on their way out, and it was sad. But that's the process too. See, you went through that, we saw it, and now people are taking care of their homes here. Communities are nicer. There's, not to use a bad word, but gentrification of neighborhoods, as in like, they're making them more beautiful. Everything that Henderson's doing, like our Boulder Highway is an East Vegas thing that everybody is like, stay away from Boulder Highway, right? But Henderson recently just tore it all up, and now they're making it beautiful. From Russell, where their border is, to Vegas, down to the 95 freeway, all of Boulder Highway, which is a good cut through. And usually moves pretty fast when it's not under construction, is being beautified. So it's there. The money's here. The communities are here. They're investing, and that's the good part. That's what you want to see when you're in a city. Even though I'm on the outskirts as much as I can be, when you go into town, you want to see
for sure
growth.
Yeah, I think you're on the nose because, I hear it all the time, like, when's the next collapse of Las Vegas going to occur? Probably never. I
don't see it happening.
Yeah, it's a totally different city now. When we moved here, I don't think there was pride in ownership. It was a lot of born and raised, not to give, I'm not talking crap about
Love born and raised people.
I do too.
Yeah.
They use
great words.
But I think there's a lot more Californians here that kind of like New Yorkers in similar pride and ownership, and I think that's what we're seeing. Top of that, they overbuilt 15 years ago, and now we are the exact opposite now, where we're probably 10 years behind. We could literally build a ton of homes. But the investors and the builders have gotten smarter, realizing they're getting more money building an apartment complex than building actual homes. So, yeah, it's a totally different city, even commercially. I remember when we came here, it was funny because I was in Zillow the other day going down memory lane, and you have to update it once in a while. And I'm like, going to past sales, 2011.
Oh, yeah.
$40,000 condo sold, $16,000 on manufactured homes sold. You know, and then I had a couple $400,000 sales. I'm like, oh, I'm sure I was sitting like big time. You know, now that's the average price, like $475. So yeah, the city, it's been really cool because we saw it maybe at its worst. You know.
Yeah. I would say so.
Yeah.
I would say that time was probably one of Vegas's worst times in 2008, 2009.
Yeah, and we're not like true locals, so I'm sure somebody may be able to dispute that. But now we're seeing it at one of its best. So it's really cool. I think that's why I have a lot of pride here. I'm a New Yorker.
It's the worst we've seen it.
Yeah.
Since we relocated in 2008, I think.
Yeah.
That's the worst I saw.
Oh, yeah. Night and day.
And I'm in the autonomy business now, and I'm in tech, so I do a lot of the, like you said, with the expansion of the roads and the buildings and everything else. Vegas is becoming a smart city where they want to basically be tech savvy, take as many cars off the road as they can, and have more commuter friendly, because, you know, like when they built the stadium, they didn't build a huge parking lot. There are a lot of parking lots around there, but those aren't, like, eventually they just want to be able to drop people off, move on, and make it affordable for people to commute around town, especially travelers, from the airport to their hotel, from the hotel to the arena, from the stadium, you know, out to eat. So it's affordable. We have a lot of taxis, we have a lot of Ubers, Lyfts, and all that, but there will be shuttles, there will be autonomous vehicles eventually. You'll see that in the next 4 years, if that, like next 3 years. You'll have autonomous shuttles. Like the autonomous companies here that are moving in because of the market here, and other cities too. It just helps out with traffic flow, and it helps out with the pedestrian problem, where we have a lot of pedestrians that just kind of walking in the street for some reason or other. So we have a lot of, you got to just be careful. When you're in Vegas, please be careful.
Yeah, be careful.
Walking around, use the bridges, don't cross the main roads.
I would say one positive that was back in 2008, 2009 was, there was like nobody on the roads. Like when you and I used to party on the Strip, wasn't a lot of people out. It was cheap to go party, you know. We maybe spent $100, have a great time. That's all gone. And now it's $100 for 2 drinks. And then the Uber's another $80.
It depends how far away from the city. Like I live pretty close. Like when I first moved here, I moved Flamingo and Eastern area, which was only like 5-minute drive to the Strip. So I even had a little scooter I would drive, because back then you could get away with all that, and you could navigate sidewalks it was like a very minimal 49cc scooter, so it wasn't anything that went above 30.
Well, that's what I like about you too. Is like when I first moved here, it's like we would go anywhere. We go Laughlin, we go to Cali. I never knew where we were going. It might be Cali, and then I get in the car and we're going to Laughlin.
I'm like,
it's like, all right, but.
Where do you want to launch the boat from? You want to launch? We just did that a couple weeks ago.
And you'll just have this whole conversation to yourself of where we're going. I just listen, and I'm.
There's many options. There's many. That's what I was talking about. There's many options when it comes to Vegas. Like there was a time in my life where my friend wanted me to invest in some property in Mexico, and to drive to the river that was down there. It's a very secret spot for wakeboarders. Rio Hardy. I don't know how many wakeboarders watch your thing, but I'm passing Lake Mead. I'm passing underneath the Black Canyon River, which is amazing. Lake Mojave. I'm passing Lake Mojave. I'm passing Laughlin, Needles, all that river, Colorado River. Passing Lake Havasu. I'm passing all this water on my way down to Mexico just for like a better private ride, and it's like, no, you have to know locations and where you can go. Say you're a skier or something, there are hidden gems in southern Utah that from Vegas you can get to pretty quickly to like snowboard and ski and have the experience of like really good snow and really good water out here if you're in the summertime. Because like in the summer, I mean, you know, you're either in a pool or water or you're inside. You can hike around here in the summer, but you want to go in early, get out early before the sun becomes as brutal as it does.
I think a lot of people adjust to it too. You know, But yeah, you're right. I mean, one of the best things about Vegas, like you can get anywhere in about 4 to 6 hours. You have
Real
Southern
drive
Utah,
time, too.
California,
Yeah, real drive
Arizona,
time.
yeah. So
That
that was some fun for me because I didn't experience that growing up in New York. Like everything's far away, and then nothing's really that nice.
Yeah.
But everything is it's really cool, like center. And you can kind of go because I've always like when I first moved here too. I loved Vegas, but there was always not now. But I felt this 15 years ago. I'm like, man, it'd be cool to live in California. Like it's beautiful, it's gorgeous. And then it's like at the end of the day, I'm like, I can drive there at any time I want, or I could take a flight, and I'm up and down in an hour.
An hour.
So it's you get the best of all worlds.
Yeah, I do miss the beach and the beach scene, but when you live in California, you don't necessarily, I lived in Newport Beach, so before I moved here, so I experienced it. A lot of Californians live inland, and they have to travel to the beach anyways, and it's a 2-3 hour drive which should be a 20-30 minute drive, but it can go up to like 3 hours. It depends on what's going on the greatest freeways in the world, that I've experienced. The greatest freeways can get to Orange County to Hollywood when nobody's on it, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
If you drive like a Californian, which most local Vegas people understand, California's. If we have an open freeway, we're going to go fast. We're going to go fast because we're not used to an open freeway.
Yeah.
But we've sat in stop and go traffic for hours just to get home from work. And that's a commute that in Vegas, I haven't seen a commute like that unless there's an accident or a road closure or something. I've never, like when I'm in traffic in Vegas, I'm like, this is nothing. This is 30 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour. You're really not stopping unless you really have to.
It's not that bad yet. I have seen it get a little bit worse over the last year, but
that's why they need to build the infrastructure.
Yeah, but I'll say about Vegas infrastructure. While you might get frustrated out here, but they're always ahead of it.
Yeah.
And but hey, we only got a little bit, but we got to talk UNLV football.
Oh yeah, congratulations last night on the LA Bowl for them.
Congrats, good year, 11-3.
They look good, and it was the new coach. Did you see the fake punt? That was pretty insane. I caught most of the game, and that fake punt, that was a little shuttle pass over.
Cool.
That was
fun.
I thought it was going for a touchdown. I was like, come on.
Big season for them.
Yeah.
So hired Dan Mullen. He used to be the coach of Florida about 3 years ago. So what do you think about the hire? SEC guy?
Yes, I think anybody with that mindset coming from SEC, I don't know all the conferences, but anybody with that mindset has a winning mindset or knows the struggle, like we said, like you have to go through the struggle to recruit, you have to go through the struggle. But it seems like they're in a really good place and they hired a professional that has the mindset to come in and change, get them to that next level because they're right there. They're right there.
Yeah.
Like they're right there, and the facilities are great now. They had a ton of money go into the school. It's a med school now. They have a medical school attached to it. So UNLV itself is becoming, I think, a major player and a major university. And I'd love to see them
I agree.
Just blossom because they have Allegiant Stadium they play in.
Yeah, it was cool to see the end of the year because the Reno game, they had over 40,000 fans. Towards the end, you could just see the fan support go up and up. So it's really cool to see because you and I have gone to a ton of Sam Boyd games with 15,000 people. Even though I had a blast doing that. But, yeah, I'm excited for the new coach. It kind of is in line with the AD. Barry Odom was a SEC, former Missouri guy.
Oh, okay.
Dan Mullen, SEC.
And they can recruit from that area also, so that's good.
The thing. The backups in the SEC are all Mountain West, are all Americans. Because I think
we got good kids here. We got good athletes here.
You got to keep the kids here as well. But yeah, I loved. They were talking about recruiting. So Dan Mullen actually won at Florida, and the big gripe with Florida was he couldn't recruit. And I was just curious because I'm kind of a football nerd, obviously. Yeah. I'm like, I wonder what this guy did. And I think he was out of his 4 years there, he had 3 top 10 recruiting classes and 1 12th, which is kind of like Notre Dame-ish. I'm a big Notre Dame fan, obviously. But
we've been to a lot of USC Notre Dame games.
Yeah, we go to a lot of those games, right? That's our annual tradition. So I loved it. So they asked Dan Mullen, because that's really the only gripe they've had with him. And he's like, you know what? Sometimes you get those 3-star recruits. I recruited Dak Prescott and Chris Jones, the highest paid offensive player in the NFL and the highest paid defensive player in the NFL. So sometimes it just works out. It was the best line ever. I was like, oh my.
Drop the mic.
Oh
like,
my
hey,
God.
these are guys I've recruited that were successful.
Yeah. Then they were 3 stars.
Yeah.
So, but anyways.
You have to have an eye for talent. You know, sometimes just like in real estate, you see something that might be it's questionable. It's not 5-star.
Yeah.
You're like, I can make it 5-star. It will become 5-star.
Yeah.
You know, and that's with athletes too. Is like you see these 3-star guys, but they have so much passion and desire, and they mature from high school to college in a way that they'll put on extra weight. They'll actually gain speed. I remember like when I went through it in college, it was just like, oh, I couldn't believe how much weight I could gain in muscle or whatever just from, you know, being more mature as a human.
Oh, yeah.
Like your body's like, okay, let's go. You know, instead of growing as a high school kid, you're like now ready to go into the college. And that's the thing. You can get those 3-star guys that have passion and make them 5 stars. They'll end up being top paid guys.
Yeah, see what I've seen too many 2 or 3-star kids that have ended up being some of the best players at UNLV. So, but we're gonna wrap this up. You're a 5-star friend for coming on today.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
2025, let's go.
Are you looking to go to SC game? Hit this guy up. Passionate USC fan over here.
Go
Guys,
Trojans.
this is Running Vegas. Take care of yourselves today. Happy holidays. Be safe. And we'll see you in 2025.
2025, let's go.